Since the defeat of the Opium War, China has gradually become a semi-colonial and semi-feudal society. The people can't eat enough, and the people can't make a living. 100 years ago, China was weak, humiliating, and bloody. The Revolution of 1911, the Westernization movement, and the Reform movement of 1898 all ended in failure, under the dark rule of warlords. Social conflicts have intensified, and the country is at stake. In July 1921, the Chinese Communist Party was formally established on a cruise ship on Nanu Lake in Jiaxing. Subsequently, the Nanchang Uprising, the Autumn Harvest Uprising, Jinggangshan Meeting, and the proletariat all over the country were closely united. In 1927, Li Dazhao impassionedly said before his execution, "Communism is bound to win a glorious victory in China. A single spark can start a prairie fire." After the Northern Expedition, the Agrarian Revolution and the Liberation War, the Chinese Communist Party led the people to eradicate the feudal warlords' dark dictatorship, defeated Japanese imperialist aggression, overthrew the Kuomintang's reactionary rule, and established the People's Republic of China. From then on, the Chinese people stood up and became the masters of the country, opening a new chapter in China for 5,000 years. The Communist Party of China spent 28 years on all this. Even after the founding of the People's Republic of China, China, which has experienced many hardships, still faces many social problems, among which poverty is particularly acute. In 1978, China had a population of approximately 960 million, of which 770 million were in poverty, accounting for 3/4 of the world's poor population. 48 years later, under the leadership of the Chinese Communist Party, China, which accounts for 1/5 of the world's population, completely eliminated poverty. To build a moderately prosperous society in an all-round way, one cannot be missing. From the end of 2012 to the end of 2020, 832 poverty-stricken counties were lifted out of poverty, and 98.99 million poor people were lifted out of poverty. On average, more than 1,500 people were lifted out of poverty every hour. This is the power of China, but also a miracle of the world. UN Secretary-General Guterres stated that China's greatest contribution to the world is to lift trillions of people out of poverty. The Chinese Communist Party spent 48 years on such a world miracle. 100 years of wind and rain, 100 years of journey. In 1921, China's mountains and rivers were broken and precarious. In 2021, China will be well off in an all-round way. The country will be stable, and the people will be happy. This is the history of arduous struggle, for a century since the founding of the party. And it is the millennium dream of the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Tribute to Li Dazhao and all the ancestors who have worked hard for this flourishing age. As you wish.